So, okay. So after Company, there's No Pressure. This is choreographed by Paris Goebel and Ian Eastwood, who's the primary dancer. Ian Eastwood, another huge YouTube star. He had maybe his equivalent breakout or mainstream appearance when he did the choreography for Childish Gambino's video Sober, which came out in the summer. So kind of interesting to see that too. So this one, unlike most of the other videos, is highly edited. So it plays a lot with what you can do on film that you can't do live. So it's also in like a black box theater, probably Marley on the floor, and they use the blackness to do a lot of doubling and tripling of the image of the dancer, and also Big Sean, the rapper who has a verse on it. And to me, this is very similar to like thinking about Gene Kelly and what I call ghost dancing, or I think I may have gotten that term from somewhere else, right? Where for the most part, Eastwood is dancing with himself. In this video, and I think you can see the Goebel a little bit, but mostly the dancing looks like Eastwood. And we won't go into him, but he has this rubber band quality, I like to think of it as, where he kind of like expands and retracts, like he can only go so far. So there's a lot of tension in his movement too, but it's different than hers.
Definitely.
And it was another one that I felt like it could have been longer.
It could have been definitely could have been longer. That felt very short.
Yeah, and a lot of them that feel very short, they almost have like 2 parts where I might want them to have 3 parts. And that's just maybe a personal compositional aesthetic, and maybe that's a boring compositional aesthetic. But when I used to choreograph, or like when I think of composing whatever it is, fashion, a house, whatever, I like to think of things as like having a coda, or sort of, if you have 2 things, then like what's the thing that makes them go together? Well, the third thing, or like the third thing calls back to the first thing. Anyway, a lot of these felt like they just have 2 things. So same thing with No Sense. It has this great storage closets. It looks like it's filmed in maybe a storage closet or a warehouse. A lot of
it's request again. Request ladies are back.
Request ladies are back. They are also bringing out another through line that does run through almost all the videos, is a lot of denim on denim.
Oh yeah, denim on denim is a thing again.
Denim on denim is hot this year, if you didn't know about it.
Which reminds of Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears and the whole denim clad thing, but that's a completely different story.
So, great movement. I mean, it's Goebel's movement. It's, again, not as brilliant as Sorry, but, like, really damn good. The one camera thing that was most interesting to me is there's a twerking section in the middle where the camera also bounces. Not clear to me if this is post-production or actual camera movement. I think in this case it's post-production. I think that later in the grocery store it's the actual camera. But again, this is another thing that is pretty common with YouTube dance videos, especially in the urban dance camp videos, where the camera follows very tightly the movement, and it creates this intensity of experience where it's like the movement of their butts is actually causing the screen to shake. And then The Feeling, the next one has got a lot of choreographers who are, again, the same people as the dancers. I only know a few of them, but they are pretty present on YouTube as well. This one also has a fairly strong narrative atmosphere. Demons, abuse.
We're also back in the warehouse. We're back in the warehouse from the start. We're back in the warehouse from I'll Show You, I think. I think it's the same space. And also, again, mostly, like, it's also a very strong, I feel, mostly male dancer. I know Janelle is in there as the only female dancer. By the way, Emma Beast, part of the Emma Beast experience, she also was in the realized she's one of the dancers in the Anaconda video. And not in Trisha Miranda's, but in actual Nicki Minaj Anaconda video. She's in there.
Yeah, so Janelle Ginestra, pretty big. She works with Will the Beast Adams a lot and Iron Beast dancers. Yeah, she's sort of in there cursorily, just like Megan Batoon was in there for a second in No Pressure.
She's like, she's here. She might be an anchor point, but it's actually more about the male dancers.
Right. So
and demons,
drugs,
depression, anxiety.
Yeah. And so the interesting thing here is the movement vocabulary that's really called upon is krumping.
Yeah, definitely.
So you really have a strong sort of krumping cipher happening, but it's filmed really close. So
it's close, yeah.
So you see like the movement, but just sort of here or something. Yeah. And then it'll turn around. So, and that's interesting because that's not necessarily how krumping is typically filmed, where you might see the whole cipher. Or if it's in a battle, then it's probably a stationary camera, at the back of the space. So that was interesting. I'm not sure that people who have viewed it, that I've seen writing about it, recognize that movement as a movement form, but it is. It has its own specific history. It has really specific technique. So
it's one of the hardest dance styles I ever tried. Like my first krumping class was a disaster. I couldn't move the next day as well. It's really hard. It's really hard. It's super, like, there's so much technique involved as well. It's really, and I feel that some people just think throwing their chest out and throwing their arms around is krumping. Nah, nope, not happening.
So I think just as by way of transitioning to life is worth living, I think it is interesting. And this is something Cheryl Dodds writes about in her book Dancing on the Canon, I think, or perhaps it's in Screendance, about what genres of dance appear in what kind of screen genres. So here I think maybe it's interesting to think about what dance movement forms are used with what narrative or like theme in the videos. So in the feeling with this video about like demons, krumping is used because it does have a narrative of almost exorcism. I mean, people who krumpers do talk about spirituality and about release and things like that. So, and I think there's also maybe some negative stereotypes about violence and krumping, which some scholars have worked to push against, which maybe we'll link that too. So then, as a contrast then, Life is Worth Living uses quite a different movement style.